Something big happened in the last few days, did you catch it? No, it wasn't the new season of Stranger Things, I wish. U.S. Secretary of State, Blinken, went to China. Blinken flies all the way to Beijing, right? To implement the consensus that the two-country presidents reached last year at Bali. You remember that Bali consensus, don't you? Sounds like one of those New Year resolutions to me, you know, the ones we all promptly forget about after a month. And the Chinese President Xi Jinping, bless his heart, he was so polite, he even had a courtesy meeting with Blinken. A courtesy meeting, folks. It's like when your mother-in-law visits and you have to be polite and make small talk, even though you'd rather be watching football. But what's interesting is, the Chinese didn't even list this courtesy meeting on Blinken's schedule. So Blinken's sitting there, enjoying his Kung Pao chicken, when they come and say, hey, guess what? You're meeting President Xi in an hour. I mean, talk about pop quizzes. And did you hear about the marathon meeting with their foreign minister, Qin Gang? 5.5 hours, folks. 5.5 hours. I can barely sit through a 2-hour Marvel movie. I mean, what were they doing, having a Lord of the Rings marathon? And finally, after all that, Blinken describes the visit as positive. Now, when your boss tells you your work is positive, is that a compliment or is he just too polite to tell you the truth? They also agreed to increase the number of flights between two countries. Is that a sign of progress or is it just Blinken saying, the in-flight dumplings were so good, I've got to come back next month? So next time, folks, when you see a new US-China consensus, just grab your popcorn, sit back and enjoy the show. Because at this rate, it's going to be a longer saga than the Fast and Furious franchise. Hello everyone, I'm your news anchor, Yali. We are here to provide you with one-stop China news broadcasts and talk show performances. I hope you can get daily Chinese news amidst laughter and joy. Taiwan's foreign minister visits Europe. Low-key, Taiwan's foreign minister Wu Zhaoxie visited Italy on the 17th, meeting with members of the Italian House of Representatives and the vice chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Before this, he had visited Poland, Czech Republic, Belgium, and the EU headquarters. Apart from giving a public speech in the Czech Republic, he has kept a low profile in other countries. In an interview, Wu requested not to disclose the country he was in, to avoid being perceived as official interaction, and said that he hoped that countries wishing to attract investment from Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company could also think about Taiwan's situation. Mainland China announced on Saturday, June 17, through the Straits Forum that it has formulated opinions on the construction of a demonstration zone for cross-strait integrated development. Wang Xiaoan, China's Vice Minister of Commerce and International Trade Negotiator, said that the Chinese government has submitted a communication document to members of the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, expressing willingness and ability to join the CPTPP. Blinken calls South Korean Foreign Minister, urging normal development of South Korean-Chinese relations. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken had a call with South Korean Foreign Minister Park Ji-won on the 17th, expressing the United States' support for South Korea to promote healthy and mature development of South Korean-Chinese relations based on mutual respect. He promised to share the results of his visit to China with South Korea in a timely manner. Blinken arrived in China on the 18th. He is the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit China since the Biden administration took office. The Russia-Ukraine war has intensified Europe's energy crisis. To get out of this predicament, Europe is accelerating its energy transition through the expansion of solar power generation. However, Europe's dependence on Chinese photovoltaic equipment has surpassed its initial dependence on Russian natural gas. Over 3/4 of solar panels come from China. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov emphasized on Saturday, June 17, that Moscow agrees with China's principled position on the Ukraine issue. The Bank of China is limiting Russian bank customers from transferring RMB to the EU, United States, United Kingdom, and Switzerland. The Malaysian government revealed that Malaysia is interested in participating in the lunar exploration program of China and Russia, but Malaysia wishes to study the relevant details first. The Chinese Ministry of Defense has invited 74 military attachés and their spouses from 51 countries to visit Shaanxi collectively, including countries like the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and Colombia. There were reports that the German government might tighten export credit guarantees provided to enterprises, strictly review investment guarantees to reduce the appeal of doing business with China, but the German Ministry of Economics said that the current export guarantee policy towards China is open. Cambodia accuses 2 Chinese of murdering Korean internet celebrity. According to a report from Cambodia on the 16th, Korean internet celebrity Bayan Ah Young died after receiving injections at an unlicensed clinic in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. A Cambodian court accused 2 Chinese citizens of torturing and murdering this Korean internet celebrity found in the suburbs of Phnom Penh earlier this month. Several departments in Thailand have reached a consensus on the handling of Chinese tourists entering the country, and will expedite the approval of visas for Chinese tourists. On June 18, Korean agency Yonhap cited sources revealing that Korean foreign aide Sun Junhao of the Chinese Super League's Shandong Taishan team has been arrested by Chinese police after the expiration of his detention period on Saturday. The source stated that after the Chinese prosecutors approved the arrest of Sun Junhao, the Public Security Department usually conducts about 2 months of supplementary investigation. However, if the case is significant, charges might not be brought until several months later. Hong Kong's Financial Secretary Paul Chan-mo-po said that innovation and technology are the core subjects of Hong Kong's future development. He hopes that Hong Kong can join hands with its sibling cities in the Greater Bay Area to build an international first-class innovation and technology center. Open black lens bracket Hong Kong student in Japan convicted for pro-independence remarks close black lens bracket. According to international media reports on the 17th, Yuan Jingting, a Hong Kong student studying in Japan, was arrested by the National Security Department of the police when she returned to Hong Kong to change her identity card in March this year. She was later charged with 1 or more acts of incitement. On the 16th, Yuan Jingting attended a hearing at the West Kowloon Magistrates Courts in Hong Kong. The chief magistrate agreed to postpone the case until August 2 for another hearing. The defendant was granted bail but had to surrender her travel documents and was not allowed to leave Hong Kong. June 20 is World Refugee Day. This year's theme is the hope of leaving the country. In the past few months, the number of Chinese citizens seeking asylum in the United States from the US-Mexico border has surged. Most of them have crossed half the globe, journeyed through many countries in Central and South America, and finally smuggled into the United States from the US-Mexico border after many hardships. Why have they embarked on this unconventional route to the US? And what are their hopes? Kim K. Feather, an associate professor at the London School of Economics and Political Science, wrote that the unemployment rate among 16 to 24-year-olds in China highlights a more dramatic and urgent problem. China has failed to fully employ its youngest, most educated generation. As graduation season approaches in China, a record 11.58 million new graduates are entering the job market. Despite being the most educated generation ever, they face the toughest job situation since the outbreak of COVID-19. In an environment of weak economic recovery, youth unemployment has repeatedly reached new highs. Informed sources revealed that the Chinese government plans to take major measures to boost the domestic economy, including possible billions of dollars in additional infrastructure spending and relaxing restrictions on property purchases. However, economists worry that these plans may have little effect. A director of an investment bank said that apart from living in it, people have almost no other incentive to buy houses, and their belief that house prices will only rise has been shaken. Yu Maochen proposed the famous view of distinguishing between the CCP and the Chinese people. Pompeo, then Secretary of State, accepted Yu Maochen's proposal and officially launched this judgment in 2020, causing great shock and controversy. Yu Maochen said that this view is now being accepted by more and more people, and there is no need for him to make any amendments. After local officials in Xining, Qinghai, China, recently advocated for local Communist Party members and cadres to invite tourists to stay at their homes, which was criticized by the public as being ostentatious, officials released a new proposal that deleted the relevant text. The Chinese Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs Wheat Machine Harvest Dispatch shows that as of Saturday, June 17, the national winter wheat harvest area has exceeded 297 million mu, with the harvest progress exceeding 95%. The 19th National Congress of the Communist Youth League of China will convene starting from Monday, June 19. In response to the statement that it has stopped recruiting graduates from Sichuan University, the China Shandong Hua Survey Group said on Sunday, June 18, that this was an operational error by the staff, and the related content has now been deleted. The initial public offering, IPO, of the agricultural giant Syngenta Group has been approved by the Shanghai Stock Exchange. That's today's news roundup. I hope you liked it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Take care.